I think we are live now. So, welcome. And in this fireside chat, I am Leslie Leondis with Next Path Coaching, and I am meeting with Ashley Keatts of A&L Bookkeeping that I've known about 3 years now, that we've known each other. So, Ashley, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
It has been about, I don't know, 3.5 years, maybe.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's been a
time
while.
flies.
Yeah. I'm Ashley with A&L Bookkeeping and Accounting. We do a lot of bookkeeping and advisory work. We help small businesses kind of get their cash flow under control and work through some of the issues they have as crazy business owners.
And I just actually learned something about you a few months ago, I think it was. What is one of your passions that you actually love to do? What is one of your hobbies that I didn't realize that about you?
But most people don't. I love to go drag racing.
Tell us
I
more
don't
about that.
I don't race per se. I won't say that I never have, but I don't. But I like going to watch the drag races. My husband kind of got me into it, and we have two boys, so it kind of falls into place.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So you every time we've talked or anything like that, one of the things that you're extremely passionate about is cash flow and helping your clients with cash flow. How did you kind of land in like wanting to really help people with that subject?
I have been through it. Cash flow is hard. It's tough, and everybody has the same problem in some version, I guess.
Hmm.
But I mean, I did grow up in the small business space, and you could see business owners how crazy acting they were and being pulled in all these different directions, and they're working 10 times harder than everybody, and they're getting paid the least amount because the business comes first, and it's always a result of cash flow. When you get down to any of the problems, almost it's always cash flow.
Hmm.
So the methodology, I mean, we learn how to rein it in and make it where it's used for good.
Yeah. And I know a lot of business owners struggle with cash flow. You and I both are not excluded from that. We're just like everybody else. But when you have, and I know a lot of people talk about knowing your numbers, but as a business owner, a lot of times business owners don't have the time or the knowledge. How do you take that part away from them? Like where they don't, all they do is basically you just give it to them on a silver platter. How does that work? How do you work with clients like that?
Well, clarity is an important part. So the bookkeeping side of things handles that. We get everything organized and prepared, and we have the numbers telling, what they're supposed to behind the scenes, and then we're able to take that information and translate it in a way that the business owner can understand. So we're kind of doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes and then saying, here, this is what you need to know. And, the light bulb will go off and they're like, oh, is that all? Well, we can fix that problem.
Mhm. So with actually having access to people's all their information, all their numbers, everything, does that help where you can actually forecast out like what their expenses? Because I know you and I have had conversations around construction about how they're going to fund that next job when we all both know, because we both worked with construction clients, how that actually works, because they're basically borrowing from one job to another job. How do you help with that?
Well, I like to institute profit first in helping with a lot of that. So once you can see where that money is going and where it should go, then you can kind of divide it up and you give all of your dollars a job, and that helps you kind of maintain the rules, with your cash flow, and keeps you in line and clear on where the money's going before you spend it instead of after.
So I love that you brought out profit first, because a lot of people think I can just do it myself, but does it really work that way?
No. So
So tell
there's
us about that.
there's a difference in doing it yourself and really adopting the methodology. It's a complete mindset shift. And it is supposed to help the business owner be a little more clear in their understanding, so it can be easy and, second thought, and, just kind of roll with the punches, because you're already moving at a fast pace with all this other stuff.
Hmm.
Why this should be second nature. And when you
Hmm.
ask a business owner, like, well, how much money do you have saved up for taxes? I mean, they don't know. Most of them don't know. They might know, they might even know how much they're going to have to pay for taxes. But if they do, it's probably not saved already.
Uh-huh.
And nobody else knows either. Not the
Yeah.
CFO, not the CPA, nobody knows. Just
Yeah.
them, because it's in their head. But Profit First kind of helps make that a little more clear, and the mindset shift around that really helps.
Hmm. And so, as you've worked with clients with Profit First, I know you've been a Profit First professional for years. What is the difference between a client that actually implements it, especially since you brought up taxes? Because I see this a lot too, because we are at tax time, and now these business owners are having to come up with cash for taxes, for self-employment, and just any tax that they owe. And I know a lot of them are like in this place where, like, well, crap, I don't know how I'm going to come up with the money. But
Right.
how does something like Profit First help with that for people that don't even know what that system is?
It's going to take all that money away first. Profit first, taxes, owner's pay. It takes it all away and it puts it in its own account. So when you're looking at your phone, checking your bank balance, every morning, every night, what's in your operating account is going to be the money you actually have. It's not the tax money that you're supposed to pay out in a few months. It's not any of your pay. You're getting your own pay, and it's not profit, that you're taking out of the account. It's really the expenses and the money that you have left to spend on payroll, overhead, cost of goods, supplies, stuff like that.
Mhm. So, as a business owner yourself, how has this impacted your business being able to implement something like that in your own business?
Um, it's easy. It's easy. So it's so easy that I don't even have to really do that. My operations manager handles all of our reconciliations, all of our bookkeeping. So that leaves me open to focus more on, more important things, more income generating tasks. I just look at my bank balance every morning and make sure that we're right on track, and knowing that all that money's set aside for, myself or profit or taxes, or maybe even a new hire or new project that we want to kind of get into. It's all set aside and it's done. I don't even have to mess with it.
So, you just hit something on here that you're a bookkeeper yourself, but you don't do your own books. Why is that?
Well, for one reason, I would procrastinate and I would do mine last every time.
Yep. Yep.
The clients will always come first. But when I realized the turnaround, kind of when I realized that I could do it, but just because I was able to didn't really mean it was that smart. Because no matter how fast I did it, I could still spend that time producing income somewhere, or, working on the client experience, or, creating new methods, to work through the books and stuff like that.
So, as a bookkeeper yourself, you don't do your own books. So, which means that if you're a small business owner watching this, you probably shouldn't be doing your own books either. I know I don't do my own books either, but for the exact same reason Ashley just said, it's because as a business owner, a lot of times we're trying to wear all the hats, and sometimes the hats aren't what we should be wearing. And just because we can doesn't mean we should.
Right.
So, and I know, Ashley, you and I have worked on this for a long time now, trying to figure out, okay, what are all the hats that need to be removed? And that's one of the hats that you remove from a business owner, is taking care of all of the the bookkeeping needs, where they can see where their cash is. They can see what their expenses are. They can see, like, okay, do I have enough money for this job coming in? Do I have enough money if I want to invest in whatever they're wanting to invest in? That's all the stuff you handle and help for them. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. So, in the clients that you work with, how do you see that helps them focus on? Because you hit on, I can work on income generating things. how has that helped your clients?
Well, the most obvious I think would be they can go out and do more sales. They can get more income and things like that. So obviously that's what's going to generate more income instead of them wasting time trying to figure out how to do bookkeeping. We had one client that was a fairly new business, pretty new, knew nothing about the finances. So, they hired a bookkeeper. We came in and we helped with a lot of that, took it off their plate. And when you're starting out, you're having a little trouble. You're trying to do everything, because there's no money. So she was doing her bookkeeping and her billing and invoicing and stuff like that on the weekends. Now, this business owner had 2 or 3 kids, maybe. One fairly young, 5-ish, something like that. A couple of them, the rest were a little bit older. And after a couple weeks of engaging us, she had really, really big trust issues. She had been burned in the past, so we kind of we're baby stepping it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I mean, I don't know people from Adam. Like, I'm just going to hand over all my numbers in my banking.
Yep.
So a couple weeks later, she came in and she was in tears. She said, "This weekend, my kids asked me if I could go play." And they said, "Wait a minute, never mind. You have to work. It's the weekend." They knew she was going to be working. And she said, "Okay, let's go." They went to get ice cream or something like that. And they said, "Oh my gosh, Mom, you can actually go? Like, you're not working?" And she was like, "No, I'm not. I hired someone and they've helped us." And so she got her weekends and her evenings back, and she hasn't looked back since.
That's amazing. And I know you yourself have been working on that same concept of how, and making sure you're doing the right role and wearing the right hat at the right time, doing that same thing. But for you to turn around and be able to do it for your clients as well, and they're following basically the same steps that you are in your own business. Because I know for me, a lot of people don't realize, they don't look at us that way. They look at us as an accountants, and they don't think of, we're business owners too, that wear all the hats, and we have to turn around and let go of control as well, and let go of the trust, and having the right systems in place is also key in that. So for somebody that's on the fence of like, should I outsource my bookkeeping or should I keep it in house? What would you tell them?
What's it going to cost you to keep doing it the way you've been doing it?
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Probably more than, just taking the risk and seeing what's out there and doing
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah. So as we wrap this up, Ashley, where can people find more information about you? We're going to drop a lot of it in the comments, but how can they connect with you if somebody wants to connect with you? Because I know how much value you provide to your clients and how much you help your clients actually in all of the advisory stuff you do, all the bookkeeping stuff, because let's be honest, without the bookkeeping, advisory doesn't exist, because you have to have both. Because if you don't have books, it's really hard to advise, right? So where can people find you?
Well, they can start on our website. It's www.teamandl.com. So
Okay.
spell out and. And I am on Facebook, the businesses as well. Ashley Keatts, you can send me a message through Facebook there, and everything else is usually on the website.
All right. And if they're interested in booking a call with you, what is the best way? Is it just to send you a DM on Facebook? Is that the easiest way?
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it. I think there's a few links on the website too, but either way is fine.
Okay. All right, Ashley, I appreciate you sharing your wisdom with us, and I appreciate you kind of chatting with me. This was fun for me because, I just love doing this stuff.
It's fun.
So any parting thoughts before we go?
No,
No?
just take it one step at a time.
One
You
step
guys
at a
have,
time.
small business sucks, but it's a rare breed. We can handle it.
Uh-huh. It's about the micro actions, the little bitty actions of just one step at a time. I love that.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And I will be dropping all of Ashley's information in the comments below. If you have any questions about anything that I do at Next Path Coaching, feel free to drop those in the comments, and we will see you soon. Have a great rest of your